This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
What's up, what's up? Real MVPs as it cracks again. 2 weeks in a row, Ricky's voice cracks, but welcome into the Rick and Johnny podcast. My name is Ricky Widmer, along with fellow Manchild, Johnny Karlic. And we are back. If you are brand new, this is the podcast on MVP, well, MVP Nerd, if you're on YouTube, where we talk about everything under the two nerdy suns. Could be video games, could be Marvel, DC, random movies, comics, really anything, like I said, under those two suns. Got a jam-packed show for you. Last week was fun. Had Pat on. Talked about Stranger Things.
Yes.
And then did you see what happened? I know you're not on Twitter.
Announced
I tagged you in
fourth season?
Exactly. The day after.
Oh, I didn't even need you to tag me in Twitter because I heard it on the radio.
The day after we recorded it and the day we posted our storylines for season 4, they're like, oh, we're going to drop this teaser trailer, which Pat was excited
that
for.
I didn't watch.
It was just like a kind of like imagery. It's basically them saying that we might spend some more time in the Upside Down this year than we have in seasons past. But go and check that out, obviously. Today we're talking pretty much Marvel and Star Wars today, sticking with the Disney crew. Going to be talking about the Hawkeye TV series. Have they found their lead, Kate Bishop, in Hailee Steinfeld? Then we're going to take a trip over to a galaxy far, far away and talk about the Kevin Feige-produced Star Wars movie, what we would like to see in that movie. And then we're going to end things out with a little video game news, talking about Avengers, well, Marvel's Avengers, from Square Enix, and I think it's Crystal Dynamics, is doing that game. They dropped a new Kamala Khan trailer at New York Comic Con we're going to get into, and then talk about some early alpha impressions because the influencers got to play it. We're not some of them, but we're going to react to their reactions because I'm psyched for the game, and I hope that it's a good one, but we'll get into that later.
Reactions video.
Yeah, react to the reactions to the reactions. Before we get into everything, though, patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. This is where you help support us. The bronze tier, you can be in our Discord channel with our wonderful Patreon crew: Sam, Demon, Pat, Jake, John. We've got Giannis is in there, not the actual Giannis, but I'm thinking of his username. Giannis is in there. Retro's in there. We've got a great crew there. I still think Batalo is still in our Discord group, but you can join it for as low as $1 or $1. Silver tier, $5, you get to suggest topics that we talk about on the show. And then the gold tier, you get to come in for $10, be on a podcast via the phone we got here, and talk about whatever you want to talk about with the MVP crew, whatever podcast you would like to be on. So check that out, patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. We can't do this without your support. But Johnny, enough of the spiels, enough of the what.
Oh, you're done finally?
Yeah, this is going to be about, I try to get through it quicker and quicker each week, but let's see. On the recording, about 3:30 is when we officially started. About almost 4 minutes, so not too bad. I'll round up 5-minute intro, but let's get into the main meat and potatoes, and that's going to be the Marvel with Hawkeye, the Disney Plus series. According to Variety, Marvel Studios has offered Hailee Steinfeld a starring role in the upcoming Disney Plus Hawkeye TV series, which is no doubt the role of Kate Bishop. The Hollywood Reporter has clarified that talks are still in the early stages, and this was written about a week ago. But this could potentially be a major commitment for Steinfeld. The Hawkeye limited series is believed to be inspired by Matt Fraction, Dave Aja, and Annie Wu's comic run. And we'll see Jeremy Renner's Clint Barton pass on the mantle to Kate Bishop, who becomes a member of the Young Avengers. And Hailee Steinfeld, if you're living under a rock and you're like, who is that? She was in the Bumblebee movie. She was Gwen Stacy, or Spider-Gwen, in Into the Spider-Verse. She's also been in Pitch Perfect 3. She was in Little Dickie's Earth video, Between Two Ferns, the movie. And recently, the biggest thing that she is, I'm not going to say the biggest, but I'll say recently the big project is her Dickinson TV series, which I believe is Amazon Prime. Let's see, I'm going to look that up really quick. I believe it's Amazon Prime, but I'll get info on that. That's the latest thing she did was her Dickinson TV series. Oh, that's it. It's Apple TV. That's what it is. That's why I'm like, I can't watch it because I don't have Apple TV. But Apple TV's TV series Dickinson, and then Hawkeye. She's rumored, but on IMDb it says announced but rumored, so we don't know. But here's what I will ask you, Johnny, because I know you're sitting there like, Ricky, just ask me a fucking question already. Is Hailee Steinfeld the right choice for Kate Bishop? Or is there someone else? Like, is this something where it's like, we have a big enough pool to go, no, I want this person? Or do you see Hailee Steinfeld as being a solid Kate Bishop for the Hawkeye Disney Plus series?
So, to be honest, it's really hard for me to say that because I don't know enough about A, Kate Bishop.
Yeah.
But B, Hailee Steinfeld, because I've really only seen her as Spider-Gwen. Yeah. And seen her.
Mm-hmm. Well, we heard her voice.
We heard her voice. So, I mean, I don't know enough about the character Kate Bishop to make that assumption. For age-wise, I could say she could pull off like a...
She looks very...
late teens.
Yeah, she's a very young-looking actress.
Yes.
To where she can pull off that, hey, I'm older, but I can... And I say older, she's in her
22.
20s. Yeah, it's like she's not old at all.
No. So it's like, because if you're saying Young Avengers, you kind of want someone that's in there, you want someone that looks like they're in their teens. At least that would be my opinion. Or maybe their early 20s at max, which she is. So there you go. So she's at least got that one going for her.
Yeah.
My bigger question so far is less of who's going to play her, because you know what kind of person you want. You want someone who looks like they're going to be in their teens, someone that's, I mean, really, that's all I got.
Yeah, and I mean...
Because you like you said, Young Avengers, you always think teenagers, mid to late teens.
The thing that really, I think, helps this is, like you said, the one thing is Kate Bishop. And
who is...
If you've read the run, like you can read off the pages what type of a person Kate Bishop is. But that's the beautiful thing about comics is like I may read it and get a different vibe about Kate Bishop.
It's interpretation
than you do. Whereas when we see it on the silver screen, I mean, yes, you can kind of still get that where we get the, hey, I like this character. Oh, I fucking hated this character. But
it's a little more definitive.
Exactly. And also it's up to the actor or actresses, their take on it, how they want the character to be portrayed. And the thing that I love most about the Hailee Steinfeld, because right now I've literally, if you Google Hailee Steinfeld and if you Google Hawkeye, literally nothing comes up besides this. Like, there has been no recent news. Yeah, from what I'm looking at, like, all the articles, 4 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. So it's like, really it's like, okay, they're eyeing her. They're in talks with her. This isn't solidified. But, like, if she does, if they do lock it down and get her to be Kate Bishop, I can't wait to see what she'd look like in that costume, because I could see Hailee Steinfeld being Kate Bishop based off of the look.
Yeah.
But the good thing that I was going to get into is that this is the first time we're seeing Kate Bishop. So it's like Hailee Steinfeld, she's not behind that 8 ball. Whereas a Robert Pattinson, because I was watching TNT was playing all the Batman movies this week. I watched the end of Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, and the thing I was thinking about while watching that was, man, I wonder how many people are not going to jive or will jive with Robert Pattinson's Batman because, oh, he's not Christian Bale, oh, he's not Ben Affleck, oh, he's not George Clooney, whereas Kate Bishop, it's like, okay, like, you're the first
clean
one.
slate.
You get to set the staple of, like, this is what Kate Bishop needs to be.
You get to set the standard where it gets to go off of.
Exactly. Do you think that, I'll say this then, do you think the reason they're trying to target an actress like Hailee Steinfeld is because, hey, we bring that, first off, bring the big name. It brings people to Disney Plus. But also, she's an actor our actress that's been on the silver screen. So, hey, she's in the TV series now, but she's a big enough star to where we can bring her into the movies.
Yeah,
if
honestly,
we want.
so like you've had her in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, you've had her in Bumblebee, so that definitely plays like, and she's also like Pitch Perfect. But I'm more so saying those two, because one of them is a comic book movie, even though it's just a voiceover, it's still acting, and then Bumblebee, it's an action movie in the nerdy realm.
Yeah,
so it's like those two kind of help out with that. So yeah, I can see them bringing the bigger name of Hailee Steinfeld in addition to Jeremy Renner to the Disney Plus. Hey, it'll get more people with just the name. Yeah, people want to check it out, and then they could now. Hey, you've been on the silver screen already, so we can put you in an Avengers movie if we feel like doing that.
Yeah, and I mean the thing too that I kind of think about, and I don't know if this is a huge deal, if it's like, hey, we really like take this into consideration. There might be people out there that go, Ricky, studios don't even care about this, but I'm going to throw it out anyways. If you look at every movie that she's been in, or the ones that we've mentioned, Pitch Perfect 3, she was in a cast with Anna Kendricks and some big names there. Pardon me for that. No. She had Anna Kendricks, and they had, like, I think Rebel Wilson was in Pitch Perfect 3, because she was starting to, that's when she was like really blowing up with popularity. Anna Kendricks, Rebel Wilson. So it's like you've got some big stars there. Obviously in Bumblebee, she had to co-star with the big star that goes movies and wrestling in John Cena. And then Into the Spider-Verse, although it was a voiceover, she did get to act along with Mahershala Ali, Jake Johnson, Nicolas Cage. I'm trying to think, Spider-Ham, John Mulaney. There were all these big names in that too, like not super big name. I mean, I guess Mahershala Ali is up and coming. I'll say he's being Blade, so it's like you can say he's arrived. Jake Johnson's been in great roles. And then Nicolas Cage is probably the biggest actor in that movie, name career-wise. Like, he's had the longest career. Am I just looking into this and it being like, well, yeah, kinda, but like, is this something where the Marvel Studios is like, no, we didn't even think about that at all. Like, we don't care who she's worked with, and that didn't play into us.
Probably not so much that. It's just like, hey, we've got probably the two biggest thing is, hey, we got a bigger name that we can draw people into the Disney Plus with, as well as the idea of, hey, you know what, we can throw her onto the silver screen because she's done it before. It's not going to be an experiment, for example.
And I say that
it's actually probably, well, no, I would say not even that, because she's doing a TV series right now.
Yeah,
so it's like, hey, she's done
Apple
both,
TV.
so great, and she can pull off the look of Kate Bishop. Question is, and that's up to the readers. If anyone out there has actually read it, let me know if you think she could pull off the actual,
like the attitude
and everything of Kate Bishop. Because I'll be honest, I've never read the Kate Bishop Hawkeye run or the Hawkeye run itself.
Yeah, and those of you who have not, so a little backstory on Kate Bishop of just to where I always feel like, by the way, I feel like I'm saying Bishop weird. Like, sometimes I'll say it Bishop, and then I'll say Bishop. Like,
Bishop.
I don't know if I'm like, each time I say it, I'm like, I think I'm saying that fucking word wrong. But Kate's the daughter of a wealthy billionaire who secretly is a crime lord. She was assaulted in Central Park and afterwards resolved never to be vulnerable again. As a result, she trained to become a skilled martial artist, and those abilities proved particularly useful when she crossed paths with the Young Avengers. She took up the Hawkeye identity in Clint Barton's honor, impressed by the fact an ordinary human could stand side by side with the likes of Thor and Captain America. At the time, the original Hawkeye was believed to be dead. After his return, ooh, my throat. Basically playing into I'm going to stop there, basically playing into what we know. This Hawkeye series is going to, on top of Kate Bischoff being there, it's also going to play into, hey, this is taking place while Hawkeye was doing his Ronin thing. So what I'm thinking is maybe, first off, reading this, I think Hailee Steinfeld can hit this kind of a character, because this character needs to be tough. And
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's kind of like, duh. It's a superwoman.
Duh.
Like, she needs to be tough. But, like, somebody who has a billionaire dad who's a crime lord. Somebody who was assaulted. So she's got to be a tough person. And, like, the thing that I think about is, with this series is, when is she even going to be introduced, and how much of her are we going to see? Because, one, they're going to pay out for her. So, of course, it's not like we're going to see her at the very end and then that's it. But this series is supposed to also play off of, hey, this was when Hawkeye was doing his Ronin thing. So is it going to be, we all thought he was dead, but he's Ronin, so she picks up the Hawkeye name, and when he comes back, he goes, hey, who's this chick kind of using my mantle? Kind of a thing? Or is it just going to be he finds her, and then they start that mentor-mentee relationship before he passes off the Hawkeye mantle to her?
I'm wondering if it's going to be more so that, maybe like a duality of episodes where it's like, hey, this one's focusing on Hawkeye as Ronin, like right after his family snaps away.
Yeah, maybe
And
get
go
some
through, like-
flashback episodes.
Well, I was going to say not even flashback, maybe like I guess it would be flashback for us now.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, this first episode starts with like him just losing his family. And then you like, it's kind of going to be like I don't want to say a montage episode, but it's going to be a jump cutting episode where it's like you show him trying to deal with it, trying to figure out what's going on, and then start like up to starting the Ronin thing. Next episode, Kate Bishop.
Or I'll ask you this, and I'm going to try to keep the spoilers for Titans. I'm not going to give any, but if you haven't watched any of Titans, you'll know that one episode's a flashback by this. That's the only thing I'm going to reference. Or do you do it where, because if it's taking place during the snap, he's Ronin. Do you start out episode like 1 or 2, he's Ronin, we're doing that, and then like episode 3, flashback to where it all began. Here's a flashback, kind of like how in Titans where we're in present day, and then for an episode they give us, oh, here's the original Titan team, and that entire 40-some minute episode is a story 5 years ago, just that Titan team. So we can kind of get an idea of like, oh, so that's what went on. That's what happened.
Well, we kind of already know what happened. And then, so I'd prefer to start off like right as his family already ghosted.
But do we?
But I would say...
We know that the snap happened, but we don't know what he did immediately.
That's what I'm saying. I would prefer to start there because it's kind of also like, hey, yeah, you remember that one at the beginning of Endgame? We're going to hit you with that again.
Yeah, I mean...
And I'm not doubting Marvel Cinematic to do that, to not do that.
To hit us where it hurts again.
We're going to hit you strong in the beginning. So remember when you saw Hawkeye's family disappear? We're going to remind you that happened. And then show you what...
of the Galaxy, Infinity War, they've done it before. Hit you right in the feels.
They're going to hit you in the feels as many times as they can. So it's like, we're going to remind you that happened and then show you what he did to go what he did after that. And then like I said, first episode is that's maybe like a jumping around, like what maybe like a jump of like the first up until he becomes Ronin. Make that whole episode from Snap to Ronin. The second episode like the introduction of Kate Bishop.
And the one thing I'm trying
or even maybe the third and have him like do a little bit of Ronin stuff in the second episode. Then Kate Bishop, excuse me. I mean, I would say maybe second, but argument can be made.
So here's the other thing I'm looking up, and I don't even know if we have an answer for this of how many episodes is it going to be?
Oh, that's true.
Because usually, here's the thing I'll think about is if it's something like, I'll base it off of Titans, what DC is doing, 13 episodes. So we only have 13 episodes to work with. How much of this storyline do you want streamlined? Because I think the point is like, we don't want to harp too much on Hawkeye and his past. We just want enough of like, here it is. All right, let's get the
first
Kate
episode
Bishop.
then.
Yeah.
Just to get you.
Maybe two.
That one's to get you into it at least. Up until I get you into the Ronin thing, because it depends. Is it a half-hour episode? Is it an hour episode?
I'm assuming
hour.
like 40 to
45 minutes.
I'm assuming it could be like Stranger Things too, because it's their own platform.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I'm assuming it's going to be like a 40 to 60 minute, but like Stranger Things, the last episode. Fuck it, we're going to go hour and a half and just see how that works. So I mean, the length, I'd say about 40 minutes at the least, hour and a half at the most, if it's like a series, like the season finale for it. But any final thoughts on Hawkeye before we move on into Star Wars?
Other than I'm excited to see what they do with it, and they're probably gonna do a good job, especially if they're getting these two bigger name actors.
Which, by the way, speaking of hoping they do a good job, did you hear what Martin Scorsese said about Marvel films recently?
No, I did not.
He said that the headline quote that they've been using is, Martin Scorsese says Marvel movies are not cinema.
And why is that?
Here, I'm going to look into it. This is from... I just want the exact quote. That's what I want. He said, let's see. I tried, the director said when asked if he had seen Marvel movies, but that's not cinema. Honestly, the closest I can think of them, as well made as they are, with actors doing the best they can under the circumstances, is theme parks. It isn't the cinema of human beings trying to convey emotion or emotional, psychological experiences to another human being. That's Feige later on. So yeah, that's what he said. Basically, he sees the Marvel movies as theme parks and not actual cinema. So that popped into my head when you were like, I hope it's good, because it's like they've all been good. But yeah, Martin Scorsese, love your directing, great visionary, but kind of off base here. It's kind of like, what's his name? Oh shit, Chainsaw Arm.
Oh,
what's his name? Ash. What's the
I
actor's name?
I forgot the actor's name, but yeah, it's Ash from Evil Dead.
He also was bashing superhero movies, which I kind of saw as like, you can't get one of those parts yourself, so you're a little jealous.
I just see that as like a contradiction, because I mean, to some degree, you play a
superhero,
like anti-hero.
Yeah,
but like, it's like you're not your genre's.
You're still in that realm.
Your genre's not far off, sir. Yeah, I get you're more on the horror side of it, but yeah,
there's overlap, definite overlap.
Yeah, there's some overlap there. You're the hero part of your movie, so let's cool it down, buddy.
But it's not a franchise, man. Which
I mean, is it not? Because there's three. What is it? 3 Evil Dead movies and a TV series.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Don't know if you can talk.
And then he had the game show on top of it.
Did he?
Yeah, wasn't there like a game show with
Not that
him
I know
as
of.
the head of it? Let us know if I'm just smoking crack over here.
Yeah, maybe you are.
I don't remember
a game show.
Let us know what you guys think about Hawkeye and everything down below in the comment section.
Stop it!